Hello there, and welcome to the world of Apocalypse Now. I'm Professor Redwood, but everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. Well, that's enough about me. Why don't you tell me about yourself? Are you a boy, or a girl, or non-binary, or gender fluid?
Oh, I don't know. Can I be a horrifically mutated and deformed crocodile man who is poor in social graces but rich in shroom addiction?
Of course!
Hell yeah, living the dream, baby.
Can you also tell me your name? What a wonderful name! Now, allow me to introduce you to your best friends.
Hi, I'm David, and I am playing your Game Master, or as I think it's called in Pokemon, your Arceus? I'm not sure.
Hi, I'm Duffy. I will be playing Azriel. I am a feral with a bit of an axe to grind.
Hey everyone, my name's Adam. You may remember me as having played the role of Dart, but for today's purposes, I'm now Chomper, a mutant with a bit of a chip on his shoulder and a nasty facial deformity.
Hi everyone, I'm Vlad, and you may remember me as playing Charlotte Fuduciel, but for the moment, I will be playing Lux, a Pokemon trainer I've decided to take over the world. Ever since our last episode, I have been making my way to an old friend. Unfortunately, being hunted internationally has somewhat cramped my usual style of travel. I don't know what I miss more. The accommodations in first class, or the option of escaping an awkward situation via parachute on a certain singer's private jet. I really just don't understand. If I'm so toxic, why are you tackling me to the ground in order to remove my pants? Anyway, alternate means have been found, and I'm rather enjoying traveling with my new friends, Mr. Go-Goat and his insufferable wife, Miss Miltank. You wouldn't think so given her character, but you would be amazed at how much fun it is to dunk on someone truly worthy of it. Getting back to our recordings from the future, in our last batch, we met our three principal characters, Lux, Azriel, and Chomper. We learned that their settlement, the Delmise Ridge tribe, had recently been raided by the Bolsheviks, post-apocalyptic collectivists who seemed less interested in sharing so much as in taking what wasn't theirs. Lux, Azriel, and Chomper traversed the wasteland, taking a dangerous shortcut that proved not to be so dangerous this time, and cut them off before they made it back home. Our three ostensible heroes and Lux's Fennekin picked apart the raiding force by stealth and guile and took the Bolsheviks' bouffalants and the supplies that had been stolen and began the trek back home. Amongst all this, we learned many interesting details. For example, Chomper appears to be some sort of human Pokemon hybrid. I rather believe I know someone who tried that once. It didn't end well for him. I'll remember to check in on that later. Whether he is unique or if there are more of him, we have yet to discover. We also don't know if he is man-made or a product of the post-apocalyptic environment and the substance found underground called glow. For that matter, what is glow? Is it a product or a cause of whatever it is that burned the world? While Lux seems to be as bonded to her Pokemon as any other trainer I've ever heard of, her Pokemon is a unique entity, a Fennekin, which has already gained the Psychic type, and for some reason has a retractable antenna in his head. Azriel, though a quiet and serious young man, seems to have a disturbing habit involving self-harm and a penchant for throwing himself in the line of fire ahead of others. I am eager to learn more about their wasteland home. Particularly, I am interested in the older members of this society, the ones who remember the old world best and might be found in a younger form here and now. That seems like a good place to start looking for clues about what might have happened. But before we can do that, let's continue on to episode 2 of Apocalypse Now.
So, you guys have managed to secure your supplies back from the Bolsheviks, and you now have a cartload of supplies which you are trundling through the wasteland with. Would you guys like to try to go back the same way you came, or take a different route? I will remind you the path you came through, going through the Barrens, will be very difficult to navigate with this cartload of supplies.
Well, gentlemen, do we want to risk the roads or the Barrens?
I mean, it's late enough. I don't think many people are going to be out and about. I think we may as well take the road.
If you remember, Chopper, it's early in the morning. The sun's on the other side. You might have had one too many mushrooms.
Right, west, east, and all that.
Well, the only people who know we're out here are the Bolsheviks, and they would need to go home, gather up a party, and come after us. That said, we do have a cart full of supplies, and there are plenty of scavengers of the human variety out here who would be more than happy to take them off us.
We look pretty tasty, I get it.
Well, I always look tasty.
Azriel rolls his eyes at that one.
Chomper just wordlessly peels off a bit of mushroom and pops it in his mouth.
Fennekin gives Lux this look and says, Fennekin, which is kind of her way of saying, you vain moron.
I feel like the road is too open, and we'd be too easy to attack.
Yeah, I agree. The Barrens may be a bit more dangerous when it comes to Pokemon, but the roads are gonna have a lot more predators of the humankind.
I don't know, moving this shit's gonna be hard, but I'll trust y'all's judgment on this.
Everything we do is hard.
Yeah, you don't need to remind me, Az.
Alright, now I need you all to roll Hunt or Scrounge.
Alright. Chomper has 2 pips into Scrounge.
Or Prowl, sorry.
Ooh, good, I can do Prowl because I got 2 pips.
Chomper's first Scrounge roll is a 1. Second Scrounge roll is a 4.
Lux has no pips in any of these, so she has disadvantage. She is going to be rolling 2d6, taking lower, and that is a 4 and a 6, so 4.
And Azriel got a 5 in Prowl.
Okay, so we have 2 4s and a 5, which means that Azriel is actually making his way through quite handily, but the other 2, which unfortunately means the cart as well, do get slightly stuck. There's some ravines and
Ditches?
Crevices?
ditches, thank you. There's some ravines and ditches which are not treating the wheels of this cart very kindly. The cart actually does get stuck as you are going through. And to make matters worse, that storm I mentioned during the description I definitely recorded 2 weeks ago and not less than an hour ago is starting to get close, and it is actually kicking up some of the liquid glow near you into the mist form of glow, which is likewise glowing an eerie yellowish green, but this version is gaseous, and there are clouds of this starting to roll in towards you. What do you do?
Shitballs, y'all. You may not take that as well as I do.
No, we won't. Let's get out and see if we can push it out somehow. So Lux jumps off the back of the cart to see what she can make of the wheels.
Yeah, so the problem is just that it is stuck in a ditch. This cart was not meant for off-roading, per what you might have predicted. It has gotten pretty thoroughly stuck. It's in a spot where the weight of the cart is actually like on the cart itself, and the back wheels aren't even like touching ground.
So if we unloaded some of the supplies, do we still have the what was pulling this Tauros?
It's a Buffalant.
Buffalant, yeah. So I'm assuming we still have that. Okay, so if we took some weight off the back and lifted at the same time the Buffalant tried to pull, maybe.
Sounds good. Once we've gotten that done, you two can push, and I'll try and coax the Boufflant into pulling it out of the ditch.
That's as good a plan as any. You're the Pokemon Whisperer.
Okay, Chomper and Azriel roll Rec, Lux roll whatever you're gonna roll for this.
What's the devil's bargain on that one?
Okay, so the devil's bargain for this will be that a hostile Pokemon appears.
I'm not taking it.
Then go ahead and roll.
Double sixes on my disadvantage roll.
Lux rolled a 5 on her boss roll, basically to convince this Boufflant to go, full on beast mode, just pull this cart out of the ditch.
Okay. And, Adam, what was your roll?
Chomper got a 2.
Oh dear.
Does he get the same bargain? So that bargain is for everyone, or is it just for me, or?
Yeah, so that was the bargain I would have offered to anyone.
So if he takes the devil's bargain now, he'll get an extra die, and we will have to deal with the wild Pokemon situation, right?
When you take a devil's bargain or push yourself, it acts as though you had an extra pip for each one of those you do. So if you have 0 pips, then it goes to 1, and if you have 1 pip, it goes to 2.
Okay, so Adam would get to roll 1 extra die, but we would have to deal with the wild Pokemon situation.
Correct.
Got it.
So, Duffy, you get your side of the card up. Adam, are you going to take a devil's bargain or push yourself?
Chomper has no pips in Rec, so he took disadvantage and got a 2. If I push myself...
You take 2 stress, and you roll 1 die. Because if you have 0 dice, then you roll 2, take the lower. If you take a devil's bargain and have the Pokemon show up, then you do the same thing. Or you can do both. Take 2 stress, the Pokemon does show up, and that'll let you roll 2d6, take the higher.
So they can be taken at once. I'll go ahead and push myself and pay 2 stress, and I assume that gives me a reroll.
It doesn't give you a reroll, but you rolled before you did the thing you're supposed to do before the roll, so go ahead.
So the push yourself, it gets you 1 extra die, right?
Yeah, that's what I just rolled. It was still a 2.
The good news is Azriel does get their end of the card up. The bad news is Chomper does not get his end. And Vlad, you succeed with a 5, which is a success with consequences. So my question for you is, who is standing in front of the Boufflant when the cart finally gets out of the ditch? You or Fennekin?
Yeah, if it's an actual choice, I'm gonna take the hit before Fennekin does.
Did you have any harm from the previous fight?
No.
I am going to give you a level 1 complication. That will just... It'll be battered.
So as the cart comes free, the Boufflant, this bison with a giant afro on its head, charges at Lux and clips her on the side, and she falls into the ground while it goes past a little ways, still pulling the cart.
Okay, so we also need to figure out consequences for Chomper. So you took strain, pushed yourself rather, and then failed. Okay, so you guys execute this plan. You move as much stuff as you can to the front of the cart, and once you get it all piled up there, Fennekin hops atop the pile to coordinate your actions. Lux, you begin trying to prompt the Boufflant to pull harder as the other 2 go to the back and lift, and Azriel manages to get a good grip on the cart and levers it out of the ditch. However, Lux is not paying as much attention as she should, and when the Boufflant unexpectedly manages to rush forward as the cart comes free, one of its horns does catch her and knock her to the ground, giving her a few scrapes and bruises. Chomper, you actually fall. you fail to get a good grip on the cart, and you actually fall into the ditch as the cart lurches forward. Once you hit the bottom, you can feel something moving around close to you.
Fuck. Guys, oh, shit. I'll go ahead and look around. Where's the movement coming from?
So the movement is coming from farther up this ditch, which is deeper than you had realized. It's really more of a ravine than anything. And as you look up the ravine, you can see in the light of some glow that's starting to collect in it, you see a long, slender creature emerging from out of this glow, and you can hear very quietly, Ekans. And as this silhouette resolves itself, you can see it is an Ekans with 2 heads, because this is the post-apocalypse.
Oh, hey there, new friend, or new friends. How are you this day?
Go ahead and roll barter? That sounds like a barter.
Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna...
Also, I forgot that Trek was a thing, and you guys definitely should have been rolling Trekker.
Oh well. This is pathetic. Yeah, that's double 2s.
Yeah, so you rolled a 2.
Just for future, every time we roll, don't forget to ask about the Devil's Bargain now.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily need to be every time you roll, but it never hurts to ask. Okay, so you are facing down this Ekans, and you have failed to make friends with it, and this Arbok is, not Arbok, Ekans is going to take a little nip out of you. So you're going to take the level 1 harm bitten.
Alright, and I guess now I need to respond.
Are the rest of us able to assist, or is this a one-on-one thing?
Yeah, so you guys can try to help Chomper out of the ravine, but jumping down there yourself would probably be a bad idea.
So, seeing this, Lux is going to call out to Fennekin and say, Fennekin, Psybeam. Which, if I understand how we're doing Pokemon in this system, means that I have a +1 to the effect here. Because Fennekin is a psychic type and Ekans is a poison type.
Yep.
Okay, that is a 6 for the Psybeam.
Okay, so these waves of psychic energy pelt the Ekanses? I don't know. Plurals are hard. So these waves of psychic energy pelt the Ekans, and it rears back, hisses, and begins retreating into the glow. But you guys still have Chomper at the bottom of this somewhat deep ravine. It's probably like 7 or 8 feet.
Chomper flips the bird to the Ekans as it slinks back.
And you do also have this glow mist closing in around you. You might dare to call it the glow cloud.
Chomper, that's not how you make friends.
I mean, I don't have many friends, I just have you two.
And wouldn't you like to have more? That could have been your 2-headed Ekans. You could have called it out when you got into trouble. Instead, you flipped it off, and now it's insulted. Are you happy?
Well, it's an asshole, what can I say?
I don't think we really have time for this, guys. And Azriel's gonna lay down on the edge of the ravine and reach his arm down toward Chomper.
Alright, here. Let me try to get up. And Chomper will try to take Azriel's hand.
Okay, Azriel, would you like to take strain to assist Chomper mechanically?
That's just stress.
Yeah, it's 1 stress to give him an extra die to the...
Yeah, I'll take a stress for that.
Okay, and then for this roll, you will need to roll... You said your Trek is good, Adam, right?
I have 1 pip in it, as on account of being a mutant. With the assist, I believe that'd bring me to 2 for Trek.
Yeah, go ahead and roll Trek then.
Alrighty. It's not a good first roll, but... Yeah, that's a 6.
Okay, great. You managed to pull your way out without much trouble. You guys are able to continue along your way. Now go ahead and roll me track. Everyone.
Oof, Chomper ain't doing too hot. That's a 2.
Double 4s for Lux.
That is a 4 for Azriel.
Alright, so with 4s, you guys will make it home with consequences. Tell you what, I think I will actually go ahead and roll on my random encounter chart, so someone roll me a d66.
61.
Yeah, so as you guys are traveling through the tangled, thorny underbrush that passes for vegetation in this region of the Barrens, you actually come across a patch of berries. And this absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous patch of berries is being diligently attended to by a collection of golettes. Tell you what, let's split the difference. Some golettes with some of the horseshoe magnets from some magnemites and magnetons stuck to their bodies. You can feel your hair starting to stand on edge as you approach, and imagine you are in for quite the shock, both literally and figuratively, if you get too close.
Fennekin jumps onto the seat of the cart next to Lux, teeth bared, hair standing on end, and just growling. She is not happy with this situation. And that is because the golettes are part ghost type, which make them super effective against her, but the magnemite are part steel type, which makes her super effective against them. So she is on edge because this is really triggering her fight or flight response.
Okay, and because her hair is standing on end too, she's basically become this little ball of poof with teeth and an antenna.
Yeah, the antenna totally sticks out of her head whenever she gets angry. Lux puts her hand on the back of Fennekin's head and gives it a quick scratch. Easy, girl, easy. And then she turns to the other two. We don't want to get anywhere near these guys.
Agreed.
What are they doing with the berry patches, though?
Tending them. Those are raspberries, the same kind that we use to make Pokemon easier to catch.
Huh. You don't say. This is their food source or something? They don't look like they would eat, though. They look like clay men with magnets stuck to their faces.
It's a little odd how they do it, but they definitely eat.
They don't... Odd how they eat how? Do they shove the berries through their eye sockets?
Those are part ghost-type Chomper. They basically just shove it into their bodies and let it dissolve. It's kind of like if you took a handful of meat, shoved it into your chest, and it became part of you.
That's simultaneously intriguing and revolting. Though I guess I'm not one to talk, given how I look.
That's just how ghost types are. But we don't want to tangle with them. There are too many, and neither one of you has Pokemon.
Yeah, may as well give these guys a wide berth, then.
So, is there a runaway roll?
You guys don't need to run away because you didn't engage them. Yeah, but a few more hours travel and you manage to make it home without further incident. What do?
The heroes. The heroes return.
Next time we'll send word ahead and make sure that they have the ticker tape ready.
So I guess we find Ginormous.
The way I'm imagining is that we're going down this canyon with the cart with these gigantic sheer rock walls rising up on either side of us as we head home, and above us we can see the still living Delmise shoved into the wall, and that's our marker that we're home.
Hold your applause, everyone. Your heroes have returned. Don't bother congratulating us. We're just doing our civic duty.
There's nothing to congratulate. We got back supplies that were already ours. We didn't bring back anything to help us survive longer.
Ignoring Azriel, Fennekin sits up very straight in the seat next to Lux and preens. She tilts her head back and forth, kind of like, yes, I have done very well, thank you. And she then tilts her head over at Chomper, kind of like saying, you may pet me.
Thank you, dear. I will give you a celebratory pat on the head.
Fen. Take your victories where you can, I guess.
It is very clear that in Fennekin's mind, she did all the work and we were just along for the ride.
Well, she did a lot.
I'm just gonna start treating her like a cat.
You should. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys get 2 rep because you had a successful score. The target of the score is higher tier than you, so yeah, go ahead and take 3 rep for that. Actually, no, take 4. I think they're tier 3. And 8 supplies.
8 supplies?
Yes, 8 supplies, which should bring you up to 10 total.
Do we mark any kind of XP for this?
Okay, so just for flavor's sake, I want each of you to tell me one of the things that you recovered that constitutes this 8 supplies.
And the rest of them will remain amorphous?
They'll all remain amorphous, actually. You're just doing this for flavor. And if we end up running through all 8, we'll just say that a trader came through and you swapped some out for whatever you do end up using them.
First aid supplies, bandages, stuff like that.
Probably some bottles of purified water.
Specialized Pokemon food.
Alright, cool. Okay, so now you need to decide how much of these 8 supplies you are keeping to yourself and how much you are distributing out to the village. Just from ordinary ways of doing things, you are entitled to 1 supply each to do with as you see fit, but if you want to try to keep more, then no one will necessarily know, but that will increase friction.
I don't see a reason right now to go beyond the 1.
Same here. I'll take 1 for stores of Pokemon food, but other than that, I don't need much.
Adam?
I can go ahead and take the 1 as well. Just something to wash the mushrooms down.
Yeah, so if you're all taking 1 each, then go ahead and mark that appropriately on your character sheets, and also mark down the tribe sheet appropriately.
Okay, so I'm taking the tribe sheet from 10 to 7.
Okay, now we are on to calculating friction. This is something that you're going to want to track on the tribe sheet. For a usual amount of violence, promise is broken. It says that's 2 friction, and a usual amount of violence sounds like about the right way to characterize the amount of violence you guys did. You ventured onto hostile turf, so take that up 1. I don't think you guys are at war yet. You've squandered resources. No. And then no friction from complications or devil's bargains. So that puts you at 3 friction for that run.
Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm filling in 3 of the pips here under friction in the tribe sheet.
Correct.
Is that friction overall or friction with just that group?
That is friction overall. That's basically how volatile that your reputation is in the wasteland as a whole. It is your hatred affects that particular tribe. Okay, so you guys do not have enough friction to have any hatred yet, so there's no fallout. Now on to upkeep. At the start of the downtime phase, the tribe loses supplies equal to their tier plus 1. Do not apply tier adjustments from wartime hold loss or fallout. You don't get off just because they're tier 0. And we don't assume a basic sustenance. There are no day jobs in the wasteland. So yeah, go ahead and knock off 2 from your supplies, because you guys are tier 1 right now. And that is it for the post-run crunch. So there are downtime activities that you each can do. You can acquire assets, which are just what they sound like. You can do some long-term project if you have any of those. You can recover, which will get rid of consequences, I believe.
So recovery will take the harm off.
Healing is a 4-part clock, and for each time you fill the clock, you reduce each instance of harm on your sheet by 1 level. Then clear the clock. I believe no one took harm above level 1, so those of you who did, you just need to fill the clock once, and you will just get rid of them.
And how do we fill the clock?
You need to roleplay a scene with Nurse Joy ? Or someone who's able to do healing stuff, and then roll to heal. On a 1 to 3, you fill in 1 segment. On a 4 to 5, you get 2 segments. On a 6, you get 3, and on a crit, you get 5 segments. And the healer rolls that, the quality level, so it'll just be the quality level of an NPC. So probably gonna be like 2d6. You may heal yourself, but you take 2 stress when you do so. You can also simply choose to tough it out and attempt to heal without treatment. In this case, take 1 stress and roll 0d, meaning 2d6, take the lower. The recovering character takes the recovering action. Healing does not cost a downtime activity for the healer. And whenever you suffer new harm, clear any ticks on your healing clock. Then you can reduce friction, which is just what it sounds like. You can train, or you can indulge a vice. And indulging vices is how you relieve stress.
Okay, so Lux is going to head straight to Nurse Joy to heal her 1 wound. Apparently over the course of this entire downtime session. If you want an image of what this could look like, have you seen Doc Coddle from Battlestar Galactica? Just a chain-smoking, grizzled old Nurse Joy.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, so you guys go to the Nurse Joy for your village, and let me put on my chain-smoking Jewish grandmother voice real quick. So, Nurse Joy takes a drag off the cigarette whose smoke fills the cave that passes for her surgery and says, "Yeah, what do you want?"
I just got a little banged up and I was hoping you could take care of it for me.
Chomper, are you also here?
Yeah, Doc, that's bad for you. You should... There's already a bunch of shit in the air. I don't think you should voluntarily put shit in the air, in your lungs.
She glares at you and blows smoke directly into your face. I don't think I should be taking health advice from someone who's half lizard, but thank you for the advice all the same. I'll be sure to take it under consideration.
Damn, Nurse Joy. Wow. So much for the cozy exterior.
Oh, she's still wearing the pink, isn't she?
Of course she is. Why would you ask such a silly question, Vlad? It's shredded and dirty, but it's still recognizably the weird pink frilly dress. Alright, let me have a look at yous. Oh, jeez, whoa, were you standing in front of a charging Taurus or something?
A buffalant, actually.
I got nommed on by an Ekans. It had 2 heads, though. Good times.
Right, well, you have a seat while I patch up your friend. This bite's pretty nasty.
While Nurse Joy is attending to Chomper, Lux is going to take out a ball and start playing with Fennekin. Just a, quiet little game of catch.
By the way, you each have 2 downtime activities, and you can pick the same one twice. So Chomper, she got double 6 or double 2s for you. You just get a band-aid on it and a kiss. Probably not a kiss, but so you can increase the level of the result by 1 by spending your supplies. So you can take this to a 5/6 result, which will fill in, 2 ticks instead of 1.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay. Yeah, you go ahead and hand over your magic mushrooms to Nurse Joy, and she gets out the good stuff for you, which basically means she does the same Band-Aid treatment, except she also pumps you full of morphine. So you're feeling fine, but you haven't, you just have 2 ticks on your clock. And hopefully you won't take any harm on the next run, so go ahead and write that down so you don't forget. And Vlad, for you, or for Lux rather, she gets a 5, so you are going to fill in 2 segments unless you would like to spend your supplies to also get pumped full of morphine, in which case you can take that up to 3 segments filled in.
Man, Lux, this shit's good. It's like the mushrooms, but better. Oh, the colors.
Bear in mind, you do have 2 downtime actions, so you can just spend your entire downtime here, try to get healed up all the way.
Lux looks at Chomper. It's not going to make me like that, is it? Okay. Are you sure that was morphine? Because he is giggling way too much.
Yeah, he's definitely giggling too much. I don't know, maybe it's because he's a weird lizard man?
Or maybe because your supplies are expired?
Guys, why does Azriel have such an edgy name? It's cool, sure, but was his mom having a goth phase or something? Goth, that's not a thing anymore.
Hey, she's a nice lady. We can't fault her for always wearing black.
Who would have thought the angel of death is a mama's boy?
Oh, I'm hilarious.
So, do you want the good stuff?
I'm good.
Man, I have so many bands to recommend to Azriel. Like, there's this one that Lonkin Poor, because, like, they have a song that's like, crawling in my skin.
Go home, Chopper. You're drunk.
Duffy, what do you want your first downtime activity to be?
I do have a long-term project, so...
Alright, what's the long-term project you had in mind?
I wanted to talk Mercedes and see if there have been any radio transmissions that might point me to where Tycho is. Like, I want to be tracking Tycho, like I have a map somewhere.
You have a murder board.
I mean, yeah, I want to murder Tycho.
Okay, I think this is going to be it's going to be an 8-count clock.
Okay, so I need a second clock.
Yeah, and make sure you're labeling them, by the way. And the roll for this is going to be Sway.
Is it me or Mercedes rolling on this?
It's you.
Me? Okay, well, that's a disadvantage roll for me, so fun. What is the devil's bargain on this before I roll these dice?
Devil's bargain on this will be...
You have to walk Snubble.
The inquiry maybe attracts undue attention.
Yeah, that's nice and ironic. Devil's bargain will be he learns something about where you are.
All right. I'll just take the disadvantage roll on it. It's a 3.
Alright, so with a 3, you fill in 1 segment on your clock. You want to roleplay out that scene with Mercedes?
Sure. Mercedes, you got a minute?
Oh, yeah, a minute, yes.
I'm here for the usual reason. Just looking for any information on Tycho and his whereabouts.
Well, I'm afraid it's the usual answer. I have more places that I know he's definitely not, but it's a big wasteland.
Any information is good information. Narrows it down a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, she shows you on the map pinned up in the radio tower the tract of land where she's pretty sure he's not.
Okay. Pretty sure I'm just going to do that twice.
Okay, so know that Mercedes doesn't have much information for you, so for the second one, who do you go to?
You could always ask Mercedes to get you in touch with B, our arms dealer friend who might have some more information.
Yeah, no, if you wanted to have a scene with B, then B would just, be visiting.
Yeah, we can do that.
Alright, so as you are leaving the radio tower, you see the woman in the long, flowing, colorful clothes that you associate with the Steel Legion, with the Han Edge at her hip that you know as B.
Got anything good today, B?
Oh, some of the usual. Little of this, a little of that, a couple of new handguns, and of course, she pats her hip, a few of these if you feel like joining up.
You know, I wouldn't fit in with that crew.
Yeah, probably not.
I was hoping you might have some information for me. Have you had any run-ins with Tycho in your dealings?
That depends. What's it worth to you?
What are you asking?
I am a merchant by trade, last time I checked.
So it's I give her my supply to up it, or I take the devil's bargain.
Yes. So it'll if you roll a 1 to 3, then it'll be a partial hit. If you roll a 4 to 5, it'll become a full hit, and if you roll a 6, it becomes a crit. This is, I think, going to be barter.
I mean, I know I don't have anything in that either, so no matter what, these are all going to be disadvantaged. I'm going to roll with disadvantage, but I'll just look at her, and I don't really have anything I can give you now. But if you have anything you want me to keep an eye out for on my runs, just let me know.
Yeah, I think that's not going to give you the mechanical advantage. I'll say that after your next run, you can make a roll, and if you succeed, then you can get a free supply specifically for paying off B for help on your next roll for this project.
Works for me.
Okay, then go ahead and roll.
Haha, double sixes.
Okay. Well, when you're rolling a D0, that does not give you a crit, but you do fill in 3 segments. Yeah, so likewise, B can't tell you where he is, but she can tell you where she's pretty sure he isn't, but she has covered a pretty substantial part of the wasteland, including quite a lot of territory that Mercedes hasn't been able to cover.
I appreciate the help, B, and I'll keep my eyes open for something special for you.
I'll look forward to it. Vlad or Adam, which of you wants to go next?
I have a long-term project that I want to engage in, and I need to know if it's actually 2 separate projects or 1. I want to start creating tokens for water in the ridge, since it's basically our most abundant resource. She is trying to introduce the idea that this token equals this amount of water. The idea is that she wants to reintroduce asset-backed currency and have Delmai's Ridge act as the bank. So is that basically 2 long-term projects, or does that not even work?
I feel like, for now at least, that's gonna be something you're better off handling narratively. I like the idea, but I'm not sure, what it will do to impact, the immediate story. So I'm gonna say keep that narrative for now, and then if an opportunity arises to make it, a thing, then you can start actually rolling for it.
Okay, well, if that's off the table, Adam, you want to go while I figure out what I want to do?
All right. Chomper's long-term project is he's going to inquire with any passing traders about any tech that may be able to reverse mutations.
Okay, yeah. So I think the project is find a way to reverse mutations, and then specific approach you're taking will be ask traders. Yeah, so I think this is going to be another 8-tick clock.
Okay.
Roll barter to talk to the merchants about the stuff. Actually, you know what? This is a bit unorthodox. I'm actually going to make this a 16-tick clock, because this is a very long-term project.
Alrighty. That was a 4 on the barter roll.
Okay, so with a 4, you mark down 2 ticks. And do you want to roleplay that scene, or...?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, so you approach the caravan that B is traveling with. She is the only Steel Legion with the caravan. She seems to be traveling as a sort of caravan guard, but you see that B is already engaged talking to Azriel. So yeah, you approach one of the randos.
Hey, evening, boss. Yeah, I know I'm ugly, and I kind of don't want to be ugly anymore. My face gets sore pretty often, so long story short, I have a question.
The merchant you've approached stares at you. You're not sure if he just doesn't talk, or if he's in shock at your face, or if he's just waiting for you to ask the question.
Well, then I'll take your silence as consent to speaking to me. Great, you're a very progressive gentleman. Thank you, sir. Have you found or maybe heard tale of tech that can reverse mutations?
Yeah, there's if you jump in the glow and you're real lucky, then it might just set you back.
Well, maybe I should keep at it then. I already do a couple glow dives a week. Thank you, sir. You have been immensely helpful.
Yep.
And Chomper will just sort of turn around and awkwardly saunter away from there back into the ridge, but not before flipping the bird at this guy. Discreetly, of course.
I'm starting to notice a trend in Chomper's character.
Yeah, it's like he's kind of an abrasive dude.
Lux is actually walking out of the ridge when she sees him do this, and she gives him a look like, again?
Look,
First the Ekans, now this guy?
Look, I only have 3 fingers on my right hand, and I gotta put them to use somehow.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, but we really need to get you a Pokemon just to give you someone for you to practice your social graces on, man.
I don't think it matters how graceful I may be if I have the face of a you-know-what.
Lux reaches out and puts a hand on Chomper's shoulder and says, "No one who knows you gives a shit about how you look. But it might be nice if you stop flipping us off all the time. I know it's not really you. You're in pain, I get that. I'm just thinking if maybe there's a better way for you to handle it. One that doesn't push people away."
Yeah, I get that, Lux, and I appreciate it. It's just, some nights I can't sleep at all. It keeps throbbing. Sometimes I worry if it might get worse.
I know. And if there's anything we can do to help you manage the pain, let us know and we'll find it.
It's deeper than that, Lux. Like the mutation might progress. It might encompass my entire body. If that happens, I don't know if It's not just the physical aspect I'm worried about. Sometimes I get hungry and I don't know what to do about it. I think it's affecting my brain too.
Lux takes a deep breath and looks at him with mixed pity and concern. Alright, I get it. Or rather I don't, but I get you. And I'm here for whatever you need. But I'll tell you this for whatever it's worth. Even if you go full on Pokemon, you're still Chomper. You're still one of us. You're still my friend. And I'll do whatever I need to do for you. Okay?
I appreciate it. And for once, I'm being sincere.
And for that, I am grateful. And she's going to give him a pat on the shoulder as she passes him out of the ridge. Lux is going to head out to where the traders are and hang around until Azriel and B are done talking, because I think that I have figured out my other long-term project and she would like to talk to B about it. I am looking to add to Lux's Pokemon collection, and specifically I am looking to add a dark type.
Interesting. So you're talking to B?
Yeah, what she's going to do is she's actually going to stand by sort of behind B until she is done talking with Azriel, and once they're done, she is going to lean forward and say, "Hello, beautiful."
So B very nonchalantly takes a step forward and turns around to face you. Hey, were you Were you trying to sneak up on me or something?
No, I was trying to be cute, and I think it came off a little lame and weird.
Okay. I mean, you're not as cute as this little guy, no matter what you do, so he gives Fennekin a boop on the snoot.
Oh, well, no, Fennekin's a girl, and B would know that.
Yeah, she uses guy generically.
Okay, Fennekin pretty much immediately walks past Lux and starts rubbing herself on B's leg, very specifically on the side that Hone Edge is not.
So, what can I do for you?
I'm hoping you might know a little bit about what's out there. I'm looking to add to my collection, and I was hoping that you might have run across some good dark types.
Now, don't get me wrong, I like you, but you're not quite worth a Pokemon to me yet. That said...
Whoa. I'm not asking for you to give me one. I'm asking if you might have seen one so that I can go out there and capture it myself.
Yeah, can't really help you much on that front, but I have heard of an old Pokeball factory out in the dunes that got uncovered in the last storm that came through. Even if the place doesn't have the Pokemon you're looking for in it, then that'll help you, shall we say, acquire any that you happen to come across.
That will certainly be helpful. Thank you. I'll see what I can do about getting out there. Anything I can do for you? Maybe bring you back a Pokeball.
If you can find any, then yeah, that'd go down pretty smooth.
If I manage to snag an extra, I'll see what I can do. So, what's my role and how many segments am I going to have to fill in?
That is going to be just a 6 segment, and your role will be Sway.
Okay, so I do have a pip in that, so I only roll once. Yeah, 6.
Nice. Okay, so go ahead and fill 3 pips then.
Cool.
Okay, so, I believe that is all of your downtime actions. So, so after you guys have finished with your downtime, you find yourself in the supply storeroom with Ginormous as he is organizing the restoration of the supplies to where they should have been before they were taken. And as he is overseeing this work, he shakes his head and says to you, we cannot let this keep happening. Our position here is just too fragile. We need to figure out some way to have a more stable position where we don't look like a target for every single person in the wasteland who is looking for someone to push over.
That's kind of where my idea about us becoming a bank comes in. People may not like the bank and people may want to rob the bank. But there's going to be even more people who have a vested interest in making sure that no one knocks it over. We build an alliance. Something that's going to make everyone in the wasteland jump on anyone dumb enough to try and come against us.
And like I said last time you brought up this idea, it's a great idea if we could just get there, but getting to the point where we're strong enough for people to trust us with their money or whatever, that's not just a thing we can do. And we're not stable enough yet to act as that kind of safe storage, so it'll be really hard to persuade people that we're safe enough to act as that kind of safe storage.
How's about this, Gino? There are guns out there, we know this. I think we just need to find some big enough guns that, I don't know, maybe something we could stack sandbags in front of and maybe have sentry positions at the main entrances to town. Basically, we need guns. Shooty, shooty, bang, bang, you know.
Fortifications aren't a bad idea.
Yeah, I tend to agree. You know any that would be a promising target?
Well, if it's guns we want, we could always try trading to B for them, but they're not going to be cheap.
No, it's not. You could try the Navy ship up the way, but that's probably going to be already fairly well stripped. But I suppose it won't hurt too bad to go and check it out again.
Well, if you're open to different kinds of weapons, I did just hear about a Pokeball factory that was uncovered in the dunes.
He raises an eyebrow. The Pokemon factory would be almost better than guns in a way, because they have firepower that's almost as formidable, and they're a whole lot more easy to move out and take somewhere else if either we need to leave or if we want to take them somewhere else to hit someone else. There is one other option. It's, put it this way, if the, going to the old ship is the low risk, low reward option, the Pokeball factory is the medium risk, medium reward. This would be pretty soundly in the high risk, high reward category. Out in the Barrens, Mercedes heard word that they did uncover the remains of an old town, and that means the remains of an old shop, if there's anything else you can find in it. Possibly a, what do you call them? The place where you heal Pokemon.
Pokemon Center?
Yeah, maybe a Pokemon Center that you can salvage some medical supplies from. And if you're very, very lucky and feeling a lot of risk, you might even be able to fight your way through the old gym and find some badges. Because badges are still what make Pokemon listen to you, even in the post-apocalypse. But they're a lot rarer, and you can't just, roll up on a gym and win one fight. Or, I guess several fights, but a few fights with trainers and rules and stuff. You need to, actually battle your way through an entire-ass gym full of extremely mutated Pokemon, and possibly a psychotic, homicidal gym leader at the end. But then you get an entire box full of badges.
That sounds amazing.
I like it.
Well, when you put it like that, how can I say no?
I mean, I feel like we need the Pokeballs so that Chomper and Azriel can get Pokemon before we go against a potentially homicidal gym leader and a bunch of mutated Pokemon. If we find this factory and can salvage anything from it, I feel like that would give us a lot of bartering power.
Oh, absolutely.
As much as I would like to head straight to the gym and conquer it, we need to build up our own forces, and we need to get these two, she nods her head at Chomper and Azriel, their own Pokemon.
Alright, then we'll do what we can to hold down the fort while you go have a look at the factory.
Keep an eye on that town. Hopefully we can get back before somebody loots it completely. If we can, we'll head straight there after seeing what we can do about the Pokeball factory.
Will do.
Guys, I'm so excited. I never had a Pokemon before.
Well, what about Bouffalant? We have a new Pokemon right here.
It's, I don't know, maybe something that looks a bit more like me?
You know, Chopper, you strike me as maybe a Salandit man. How do you feel about poison types?
I mean, if I could bite it and if it doesn't die, I think we'd be good friends.
Gonna be biting your Pokemon a lot, Chomper?
It's a bonding activity.
Well, poison types are immune to poisoning, so I guess you could.
A Salandal, you say? Never seen one of those guys before.
Salandit.
Salandit.
And if you get yourself a girl, it will evolve into a Salazzle.
Ooh, that sounds pretty glamorous.
I really rather thought someone would remember about the countdown timer underneath their home, but apparently no one remembered. I'm sure that'll never come up. At least we learn more about the world at large. Apparently, I don't just need to track down a certain officer of the law. I need to pay off a bet about one nurse's smoking habit. Never thought she'd make it out of nursing school, honestly, the way she sucked them down. Either way, I would like to thank Monster Cat for providing the music used in this episode. You can check them out at monstercat.com, where all the music used in this episode is available for royalty-free licensing. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it will make it easier for other researchers to find us and aid us in building a timeline of the forthcoming apocalypse. If you would like to support this podcast and my fight from justice, you can do so at patreon.com/PokemonPrimeval, where you will find membership levels offering all sorts of benefits, including altering the space-time continuum so that you too survive the apocalypse and appear in our show. You can even have Arceus GM a game for you and your friends. Goodbye for now, and I will see you next time on Apocalypse Now, where our story continues.